and good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Upfront Mind, Body, Soul, where I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hanna. And listen, tonight we're going to be talking about boundaries. Boundaries. They are intentional, alignment is possible, and your peace is non negotiable. Now, before we get into this segment, I would like to say that tonight's segment is brought to you and sponsored by GCM Construction. Thank you, GCM Construction, for your alternate for helping us with our sponsorship for our podcast. Now, as we move further, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, hold out through your mouth. Inhale and exhale. So today's we're going to be talking about one that many of us struggle with, and that is boundaries. I'm always being transparent. But talking about this is desperately in need because what's going on in our society, we had demands from work, we had demands from our family, we had demands for whatever we list to do. But boundaries tonight is what we're going to be talking about, and we're going to move forward into this. Now, let me say clearly, you are allowed to protect your peace without guilt. Let me say that again. You are allowed to protect your peace without guilt. So what are boundaries really? So let me give you a little bit on what they are. Boundaries is not rejection. Boundaries, they are not selfish. And they are not that you're being too much. Boundaries simply are the self-respect in action. They are the invisible lines that say, this is where I end and where you begin. This is what I allow and what I will no longer accept. And for many of us, especially women, and I'm not excluding men, but also if you're a nurturer, you're a healer, we are taught to overgive. This is what has been extended to us, to overgive, overextend, or overexplain. But let me remind you of one thing here right now. Over you're extending yourself is not love. It is self-abandonment. It is really self-abandonment. So again, why do we feel guilty when we put up these boundaries or say the word no? So let's talk about the guilt and how that word comes from, because it shows up really quick. If you're saying no to someone, I know sometimes I do. I'm just being honest. I'm being transparent here. And when you say no, what comes over you? You suddenly feel like you've done something wrong. And where does that come from? So there's 4 areas that can come from. Conditioning, because we have been conditioned to say we got to be nice, or we can't disappoint others, or there's a fear of rejection, fear of losing relationships, or even fear of being misunderstood because you said no. But here's the truth with that. Now, let me know if you're ready for it. If you're watching this right now, just say, are you ready? Say, I'm ready. Guilt is not always a signal that you're wrong. Sometimes it is a signal that you're growing. You are unlearning patterns that have kept you drained. And later on in the segment, I'm going to give you a book that you can purchase from me, because it's talking about the energy lakes identified. So again, that guilt that you're feeling is not always a signal that you're wrong. Sometimes it is a signal to let you know that you are growing. You're unlearning the patterns that will keep you drained or they have kept you drained. You're just growing from it. Now we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're going to go on and proceed with how stress shows up when we set boundaries. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond. And again, that is GCM, who is our corporate sponsor for the month. Again, I appreciate you, Andre Gibson. I thank you so much for being our corporate sponsor. And again, what we do here is a lot of good work that we're doing here for the community and just helping people flourish in mind, body, and soul. So again, before we left, we talked about, you may be feeling guilt or something with boundaries, creating these boundaries. But how the stress shows up when we have no boundaries, right? So again, the reason why I'm doing this segment is because it is Stress Awareness Month. So let's look back at this month. When you have not had your boundaries, will your body speak? Yes. How does stress show up? I'm going to give you a couple of them: fatigue, irritability, anxiety, headaches, emotional overwhelm. What is this coming from? Because your nervous system is saying, this is too much. When you say yes to everything, you are silently saying no to yourself. And your mind and your body and your soul is going to feel that, right? So what does healthy boundaries look like? So what are they going to be looking like? What are they going to be saying? So the healthy boundaries are, and it can sound like, I'm not available for right now. Let me get back to you. There's no harm in telling people you can get back to them because you might have to process it. That doesn't align with me. I need rest. Oh, let me say these again. Let me say these again. This might help somebody tonight. I'm not available right now. Look, I'm moving over closer to that. Let me get back to you. That doesn't align with me right now. And I need rest. And here's a gem from me. You don't owe everyone an explanation. Your boundary is not a debate. It is a decision. Now, moving forward, the energetic boundaries, deeper healing. We're going to go a little deeper. But first, I want to show you something that you can purchase on Amazon. Here it is. Energy Leaked Identified. A holistic guide to awareness, release, and sustainable self-care. Remember, we're talking about this month is Stress Awareness Month. We need to know where those boundaries are and what energy is taken from us and how is it being identified to ensure that we don't be leaking out or leaking over too much, but we need to be aligned in straight segment. So again, energy leak identified. This is a good resource that you can use. Again, energy leaks don't announce themselves. They whisper through exhaustion, resentment, self-doubt. The moment you notice where your power is draining is the moment you begin to reclaim it. Again, we're talking about boundaries here tonight. So, again, moving forward, energetic boundaries, which is a deeper healing. We're going to go deep. Not all boundaries are spoken, right? Some are energetic. And here I say that word energy. Everything works by energy. This means protecting your energy in in certain environments. Wherever your environment is, again, it has to align. Being mindful who has access to you. As a song says, who holds the keys to my Jeep? Disconnecting yourself from draining conversations. Choosing peace over proving a point. Sometimes you don't even have to explain or to argue with folks. You just choose peace, leave it alone. I know that can be hard for some of us to do. But I'm going to ask you, Dr. M is going to ask this question right now. Just look at it through this week or some instances, maybe throughout your day today. Does this situation nourish me or does it deplete me? That's the question to ask. Does this situation nourish me or does it deplete me? Remember that your energy is sacred. Now, the wellness part of tip, the pause practice. And I'm actually, again, because this is Stress Awareness Month, there's a couple of things that I'm going to be doing throughout the month. And tonight we're going to experience and give you the pause practice. Just something to think about to use during the rest of the week. So before you say anything yes to anything yes this week, pause, Pause. Take one deep breath. And this is what I want you to do. Ask yourself this question internally. Do I have the capacity for this? Is this aligned with my peace? If the answer is no, honor it. You can respond with, I have to pass this time. Saying that is simple, it's grounded, and it's powerful. Those are things that just can happen. So, right now, I'm going to give you some affirmations to repeat after me. And again, we're talking about boundaries, not feeling guilty, but moving out in our power, right? So, this is the affirmation moment that I'm going to give you. I honor my needs without guilt. Say that after me. I honor my needs without guilt. I am allowed to say no. My peace is my priority. Boundaries are a form of self-love. Let's do those again. I honor my needs without guilt. I am allowed to say no. My peace is my priority. Boundaries are a form of self-love. Now we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and then I'm going to finish up tonight's segment. Lotus girl fly, her face so slow tide in the morning glow, petals open where the soft winds blow, eyes like the moon, steady and kind, she blooms in her own sweet time, feet barely touch the ground, heart beats in a velvet sound, she's the calm in the stormy sky, Lotus girl. That's my Lotus girl. Again, a few weeks ago, I did an Anchored in Her Power retreat in Virginia Beach. I had passed this Lotus Park for many times on previous trips there before, but I just took the time out to go and recognize this park. And that is a song, Lotus Girl Fly. So again, we know the roots of a lotus. It goes through the mud, but when it comes out, it blossoms out beautiful. So in my closing message for tonight, I hope that some of this has helped you tonight. And even if those who catch in the replay, I want you to be encouraged. I want you to don't feel limitless in your saying no in your boundaries and creating those spaces for you to be comfortable, right? And it's all about protecting your peace. Because I know a lot of people need peace right now, right? It's a lot of situations. People be coming for you, demanding different things, right? Protecting your peace is not something that you earn, it's something that you decide. I got to say that one again. Protecting your peace is not nothing that you earn. It's not something that you earn, but it's something that you decide. One thing that I'm going to call out for you to do this week, go back to what I said a few minutes ago about the pause effect. And in the pause effect, remember, before you do anything, pause. Take a deep breath with it and ask those questions. Do I have the capacity for this? Or is this aligned for my peace? And if the answer is no, honor it, right? So this week, I want you to practice choosing yourself. There's nothing wrong. Again, self care is not selfish. I want you to choose yourself without apology because when you are aligned, everything around you begins to shift, right? So here's my request to you for those who are watching, those who may be tuning in right now. If this has aligned to you and spoke to your spirit, I want you to do three things for me this week. Three things. That's all I'm asking. Three things. One, the first one is I want you to set a boundary, no matter how big or small it is. Two, honor your no. Three, share this episode with another person who needs the permission to choose herself or himself. And if you are ready to go deeper into your healing, join me in a real life experience. I have some few retreats that's coming up, especially for June 6th in the Unplugged Forest. Thanks to Shane Myers. We will be experiencing a Pour Into Me tea. Sedona retreat will be coming up. It will actually be posted by the end of this week, where it's the Sedona Vortex Escape. It will be November the 12th through the 15th. Information will be loading pretty soon. And any wellness practice sessions that I have that's coming up. You can also join me on Tuesday evenings for infrared light, free of charge, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Aaron's Place at 100 North 6th Street in Denton, Maryland. And again, we just don't talk about it. I'm about it. I'm about peace. I'm about giving peace. I practice it, right? So if you know anybody, have them follow here at the Upfront Mind, Body, Soul podcast. Because healing is just not something you hear, but it's something that I choose to live and help you to live with. Now, as we end the show tonight, I want you to tap into your mind, align your body, and elevate your soul. Again, thank you for joining me tonight. And you know, as I always say, if you don't feel that you love, just know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. Until next week, be blessed, set your boundaries, and remember, set one boundary, honor your no, and share this episode.